Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I am your host, Jeremy Chuggs. And before we get going, I have been mulling over the idea of doing a Texans fan meetup at some point this year, maybe talking to some other Texans content creators, getting y'all out in Houston. I want to do something, be able to meet all y'all in person. If that's something that you're interested in, go down and hit the thumbs up icon, like today's video, because the more likes I get on this video, I can show my boss, hey, maybe we should do a Texans fan meetup this season. Coming up on the program today, did the Texans commit highway robbery by getting a steal in the 2025 NFL Draft? There is one player that the Texans selected this year that I think could make a massive impact for Houston, and we actually got him in the later rounds. If you're not familiar with who the Texans drafted this year, all good. Here's a quick reminder of the Texans 2025 draft class. Jaden Higgins, Ariante Ursery, Jalen Knoll, Jalen Smith, Woody Marks, Jaylen Reed, Graham Mertz, Keontae Hamilton, and Luke Lachey, 9 picks in the 2025 NFL Draft. And quick question before we get going. How do you feel about those guys that we just saw? We saw them in OTAs. We saw them in rookie minicamp, training camp about to start. Do you feel better, worse, or the same about the Texans draft class so far? Personally, I feel a little bit better. I really like what I've seen from the two receivers, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll. I'm very optimistic about Ariante Ursery. And really in the draft, the only thing that you can ask is your top 3 or 4 selections make a really big impact, and the rest of the guys, you maybe get a couple guys here and there that really show out. And the one guy I think that can show out for the Houston Texans, his name is Jaylen Reed. Safety from Penn State. The Texans drafted him in round 6. He looked good during OTAs and minicamp, and I think he can contribute immediately in special teams, can be somebody that we see running down there on punts, on kickoffs, can be somebody who Frank Ross can use in multiple different ways. And the question now is, will he have a larger role with the question marks around Jimmy Ward? We all know he has his court date coming up at the end of July. And now as I look at the Texans depth chart, I think he could step in to a bigger role. Either, behind C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Kalen Bullock, being that third safety, deep safety, if you're not counting Jalen Petrie, maybe the fourth safety on this depth chart that can really make an impact. So coming up on the program today, I'm going to tell you why I'm hopeful, and I'm also going to tell you his biggest flaw, the reason why he maybe slid in the draft this year. First up, I always like the good news before I give you the bad news. Why I'm hopeful on Reed. He's a great athlete. Let's look at his RAS score from this year, which stands for Relative Athletic Score. It takes into account his, measurables and height and weight, and also his 40-yard dash, among other things. And 9.09 out of 10 is great. Really, really good by Jaylen Reed. That 4.48 40-yard dash. He is a speedster. And we know D'Amico Ryans, this Texans team, loves some good athletes. The second reason why I'm hopeful for Reed, he had really good production at Penn State, a Big Ten school. He was going up against really good competition week in and week out. And 4-year guy at Penn State, 2021, 2022, played as a reserve guy, 8 games played, 13 games played. 2023, 13 games started, was all Big Ten honorable mention. And in 2024, 16 games started because of the college football playoff, the fact that Penn State made it. And he was second team all Big Ten. So some accolades there for Reed as we look at his career stats. He was the leading tackler for Penn State in 2024 with 98 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 6 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and a forced fumble. He's somebody who really was part of the heart and soul of that Penn State team that made it to the college football playoffs and beat Boise State. He was a captain for this defense. And the third reason why I'm really hopeful, he oozes that swarm mentality. If you remember back, maybe you don't put the connection between Reed and this video, but do you remember when Nick Caserio made the call to one of the Texans draft picks and he goes, hey, I'm ready. Hey, I'm ready. Let's go. He was, just absolutely hype. Yeah, That was Reed. And in the pre-draft process, he actually was talking about the Texans defense and the Texans secondary before he was even selected by this team, was saying that this is the secondary that he really likes. This is the one that he thinks he'd be a good fit in, and he thinks that Houston's defense has some good stuff cooking. He is somebody who is a team guy. He said he wants to come in, be a sponge, help in whatever way he can, and that special work ethic and relentless mindset, I think Reed has that, which means even if he doesn't have the talent to be up here, he's going to give you this amount of effort week in and week out. And that's all you can ask for from a 6th-round pick. And I think maybe he can even develop into something more down the line. Now, coming up, I'm going to tell you why he fell to round 6 and his biggest flaw, his biggest weakness that maybe the Texans can help him improve on throughout this season. Before I get into that, this hoodie deal, I've told y'all on a couple shows, and they are selling quick. This might be one of the last times that I mentioned this deal because I don't know how much longer it's going to be on the website. I found this, and I don't know if it was a typo, but we're taking advantage of it right here, right now. It's an insane hoodie deal. I know it's the summertime, but get it and store it for the wintertime. It was $69, this hoodie, now $27. More than half off. All you got to do, go to chatsports.com/HOU massive sale. From somebody who's a bargain shopper, somebody who likes a great deal, this is how you get a good deal. You buy your winter clothes now, so whenever it comes wintertime, you're like, hey, I have a Texans hoodie, I'm ready to go. And you only spent $27 on that? Maybe the best deal on the internet. I'm going to put this link in the comment section and description of today's video. And like I said, I don't know how many more times I'm going to show you this product because it's selling out very, very quick. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about why did Reed fall to round 6? Now, let's look at some of the draft experts and what they were saying about Reed coming out. This is from Lance Zierlein. Reed has NFL size and good overall production as a 2-year starter, but there are concerns on tape. He plays with natural instincts and route awareness to make plays on the ball, but is too inconsistent in finding where he needs to be in coverage. He doesn't run well enough to play over the top or handle certain targets in man coverage. He's physical enough as a run supporter, but needs to improve his approach as an open field tackler. Reed is best suited to play as a backup safety in a downhill zone coverage. And it is to mention, Lance Zierlein had a round 4 grade on him. So even with all those criticisms, thought that he would go much higher than where the Texans selected him. And as we look at his 2024 coverage stats, this is where it becomes a little bit of a concern, right? Was targeted 38 times, 32 completions on him, 364 yards, 4 touchdowns, 6 PBUs, 3 interceptions, not too bad, but a QB rating when targeted of 108.8. And the big thing is he's a physical guy. He's somebody who gives you a lot of effort, a huge effort guy, but he needs to improve in his coverage ability. As Lance said in that excerpt, he needs work in knowing where he is supposed to be in coverage, in zone coverage, and also staying with his guy in man coverage. So obviously, 2 big flaws for somebody who wants to cover NFL-level wide receiver talent. But the good news is the Texans have a great secondary. They have guys who can allow him to learn and grow under maybe one of the best defensive minds in the NFL in DeMeco Ryans. And I think if he can learn as a backup and improve his coverage ability, the Texans might have gotten a dog in round 6, and maybe down the line he improves year over year over year. Maybe we're seeing a Texans starter in 2 to 3 years down the road. I know I'm getting ahead of myself with that, but at the end of the day, he has everything you need to get to that level. He has the great mindset, he has the willingness to get better, and he has the physical tools. He's an athletic dude. So if he can put it all together with DeMeco Ryans, also, I believe his name is Dino Vasso, the Texans DB coach, one of the best in the entire NFL. If he can learn from him, be a sponge behind guys like C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kalen Bullock, I think the sky's the limit for Jaylen Reed. Now, that's all I have for you on today's show, folks. Did you make it to the end of the video? If so, you're an absolute real one. Spam those H's down below. If you made it to the end and you're subscribed, give me those H's so I can give you a shout out in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, hey, let's change that and throw some H's down below.